Hello, I'm the Universal Critic. I talk about whatever I want, whenever I want, and I just recently got back from a showing of Young Adult, and it was actually a pretty good movie. It's about this girl, about this 37-year-old woman named Mavis Gary, played by Charlize Theron, who does a very good job, and basic. And basically, she's stuck. She's basically a 16-year-old stuck in a 37-year-old's body, and yeah, that's the whole plot of the movie. She goes back to her hometown to try and to catch her old boyfriend, but turns out he's happily married with a baby. Yeah. Along the way, she also meets the friend from high school who, well, I use the term friend very loosely. She hardly remembers him at all. Named Matt, played by Patton Oswalt. Well, the movie is kind of slow paced and it's actually kind of dark at some points. Like Mavis's character, we care about her. We want to see what happens to her. We want to know. We're actually curious. But at times she's actually kind of scary. Like she scares people. Like the leaps and bounds she goes by to try and get her boyfriend back, and the over analysis she puts into everything he says or does. It's quite scary. Just that's the only way I can describe it. But still, Charlize Theron does a very good job. At one point, she pulls off being like the real mean, like this mean-spirited bitch throughout the entire movie. It's really convincing. At one point, her old boyfriend Buddy, named Buddy, his wife Beth is like playing the song that used to be Mavis and Buddy's like song when they were a couple, and she just pulls off this look of loathing. It is just so fantastic. It's so hateful. I can't even describe it. You have to see the movie to find out. It's just great. It's just like, she's like, God, I hate this woman so much. Anyway, as for the other characters, Patton Oswalt as Matt, he does very good. One of the story arcs for this character is that in high school he was beaten severely, and now he's like paralyzed. He has to walk with a cane for the rest of his life. It's quite sad, but it doesn't amount to much. Like, there's this other subplot where like he meets this other guy who's in a wheelchair, and he's like super happy like all the time, like he's on crack or something. And we see him once and then we never see him again. The guy in the wheelchair, he just comes in for 5 seconds and then goes away. Gone. Nothing else. But still, Patton Oswalt does a good job, and he's a funny character. Like, we actually see him in his garage. He has a distillery in his garage. He's like making bootleg alcohol. I'm not even sure why he's doing this. I mean, I can guess why, but I don't know what it has to do with his character. I don't get it. The guy who played Buddy, I can't remember his name for the life of me. He does pretty good. Like he seems like a nice guy. Like, according to some of the backstory, he was like a real crazy person in high school, but he doesn't seem like that. He seems like a nice guy. Not like the total jerk that someone Mavis would probably hooked up with. The other characters, well, there's not a whole lot to say about the other characters. Yeah, they don't really contribute much to the story aside from showing how much of a bitch Mavis is. But the one major flaw of this movie was like the last 10 minutes. Like, we get all this stuff. Like, it was kind of satisfying for Charlize Theron's character, but Patton Oswalt's character, the rest of the characters, it made me feel kind of empty. Like it wasn't very satisfying. Like, it didn't end the story with those characters. But all around, Young Adult, it's a pretty funny movie. It's written by Diablo Cody, who wrote Juno, which I have never seen, but I've heard good things about. It's a pretty good movie, a little slow and kind of dark at points, but all around pretty funny. Check it out. I'm the Universal Critic. I talk about whatever I want, whenever I want. Goodbye.